He comes to us every Friday. He writes for the Marina Times, movies, TV, music, clubs, live performances, festivals. He follows it all, and he comes and goes on a rainbow. He is Michael Snyder, everyone. And hold on, Michael Snyder. I got to do something here. Now, try speaking now. Go ahead. No, hold on. I have you on a, try again, Michael.
Hi.
Hold on. This is unbelievable.
What is
try
happening?
Again,
You're a technical marvel. You are a technical.
Wow.
I mean, I'm so excited. It's Friday. I mean, I come to the show with a head of steam, and I get everything is.
Tony showed me how to bring you in, and then I forgot.
Oh my God!
Yeah, anyway,
I spend a little time every Friday morning on the lines. On Instagram, on TikTok.
Sure.
By the way, speaking of TikTok, wait, shout out to my data farmer friends in Shanghai. Hey, everybody. What do you, so I'm noticing people in the socials referring to today as Friday, thank God it's Friday. But Friday.
I get it.
That makes me a little uneasy. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of things make me uneasy.
Whenever I hear Wednesday referred to as Hump Day, for instance, I can't help but imagine Quasimodo astride a camel that has like a dog going at it on the front leg. I hear Hump Day.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll ding astride, though.
Okay.
Let me I had a question for you, but
Sure.
I've forgotten what. Oh, I know. I wanted to mention you're doing very well in Mark's Madness. You're ahead of our other contributors.
Well, I have a good instinct about what the people want.
Michael Snyder is 9-3. That's what you see on your screen now. 3 losses, 9 wins. The other contributors, Avila and Shore, I'm talking about Friday contributors
Sure.
now. We'll get to Spencer Christian next week. We'll update that. Jim Avila has only 8 wins, as does Michael Shore. You're ahead by 1 win.
I probably hampered my success by getting behind the Jim Avila drop, which I just wanted to. I wanted to support my Friday buddy,
and
that didn't make it through to the next round.
I'm on the phone.
Yeah, I wanted to give that a little love, and of course, all I did was shoot myself in the foot there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jim and Michael, it's equally disgraceful and poetic and sad that the constituents of politicians deriding wokeness are the people most likely to be zonked out on opioids. Have you thought about that?
Oh, yeah. Deriding, I'll hit in the ding. You better get to it, my friend. We don't have much time.
Well, you have.
Did you see the John Wick movie?
Why don't you just relax and we'll get to the biggest film of the week right here and right now? That is, of course, John Wick. And John Wick, some people think John Wick is whack. I do not. John Wick Chapter 4. The latest installment in the mega popular blood-splattered action movie series is here. And it may look like the title character is offering a cure for overpopulation as the seemingly indestructible super assassin Wick, played once more by Keanu Reeves, takes out literal legions of trained killers trying to murder him. But I wouldn't treat that as any kind of legitimate guide or go-to in terms of population control. It might help in certain small areas because he definitely leaves a trail of bodies. Anyway, when we last left him in Chapter 3, the global organization that happily used him as a quick and deadly weapon for hire has now put a bounty on his head that increases with every opponent he eliminates, which brings out even more potential Vic slayers. His former handler in New York, Winston the Manager, played once more by Ian McShane. The shadowy armorer in Gang Boss, the Bowery King, played again by Lawrence Fishburne. And Sharon, the concierge, played by the late Lance Reddick, can only do so much to help Wick, as 2 of his most ruthless and relentless adversaries are determined to get rid of him once and for all. Kane is one of them. He's played by the Hong Kong action superstar Donnie Yen. And then there's the Marquis, played by Bill Skarsgård, who you may recall as Pennywise the Clown from It, only here he's more an aristocratic Eurotrash type than a supernatural creepazoid. So it's a little different, but he's still pretty threatening. In any event...
I would ding creepazoid. I don't know. Go ahead.
It's a coinage, but go right ahead.
Yeah.
If you've seen the 3 previous John Wick movies starring Keanu Reeves in his greatest role, in my opinion, you know what you're in for. Nonstop ultra-violence, frenetic and sometimes creative slaughter.
Frenetic's a dang word.
Crazy car and motorbike chases that would make the Fast and the Furious pull over to the side of the road. I mean, this stuff
really?
is... Oh, yeah, it's nuts.
He's on a motorcycle ever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's a real motorcycle guy, I think, Keanu.
Well, you know, and I think a lot of these guys do their own stunts.
I don't think Keanu's one of them, but maybe.
Well, maybe. You know, I think.
I don't know.
I hope. So if you're
I think he does do his own stunts. He's also...
Look at you, Albert.
Thank you, Albert.
Very rare commissioner interruption to make sure we get that information, and I like it.
If you're eager for more of the wild and acrobatic mayhem that has been the trademark of the other chapters of Wick's saga, you're going to love John Wick Chapter 4. Directed at a blistering pace with slashes of sly wit by Chad, I guess Stahelski is the way you pronounce the guy's name. Mm-hmm. He really is, you know, in charge of this, and it really rocks in many, many ways. It's exactly what fans expect, and even more. Consider the number of on-screen killings essayed by Wick, his occasional allies, and his horde of enemies. At the screening I attended, this is no joke, my friend Hugh used one of those clickers that allowed doormen to get an accurate count of the patrons at an event. Sure. And we checked the clicker at the end of the movie, and it showed that a total of 194 dead bodies piled up over the course of the movie's 2-hour and 45-minute running time. And the count, honestly, might be a little short due to some massive battles between frenzied gangs in an Osaka hotel, when it was kind of hard to keep track of who was getting blown apart by flying bullets or sliced and diced by swords and knives.
Wow.
There's a long climactic sequence, by the way, Mark, that plays out across the city of Paris, ending at a very famous tourist spot that features, I would call it the Mount Everest of staircases, and it is, frankly, one of the most outrageous, jaw-dropping, and hilarious symphonies of bedlam I've ever seen.
Do you need to have seen the other 3?
I think it wouldn't hurt. I think you need to see a previous film just to know whether you'd be okay for this, because you may go in and think, this is mindless violence, and that might be your thing. Mindless
Violence probably was the working title. By the way, My Friend Hugh is the name of a movie. I don't know. When you say My Friend Hugh, I think, oh, that's really a movie. My Friend Hugh.
I would go see that film. You know, look.
And the other thing is assayed. I will ding the use of the word assayed.
Well, as usual, Reeves as...
What's that? Go ahead, Kim. Yeah.
He also dings Symphonies of Bedlam.
No, those are 3 words,
Yeah,
Kim.
I will not do
I mean, the combination is rather...
Yeah, but it's. I mean, it's good. He's a good wordsmith, but we don't ding that, Kim.
Look, as usual,
Kim, how are you?
I'm sorry, Kim. I don't mean to. I really don't mean. I want to back you up. You know that.
Good day,
no,
sir.
that's not the point. I love Kim.
Look,
I can't just ding anything.
Reviewing these things is a chore. Let me tell you, when you guys are jumping in like this.
We do have processes, protocols, and standards.
Like our friend and our commissioner has said, Reeves as Wick is probably doing a lot of these stunts. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking and shooting and stabbing and strangling. The Michelin Man should bounce back as effortlessly as Keanu Reeves in this movie. It's in theaters where it should be seen in all its bombastic glory. John Wick Chapter 4. The fans are going to love it. Those of you not familiar with the John Wick saga, such as it is, maybe not your thing.
Kim, would you like to suggest him? There is a ding that he just used. Would you like to come back in? I didn't.
I've had it with you people. I've had it with you.
Kim,
you good day, sir. Nothing.
No,
I mean, Symphonies of Bedlam. Come on, that's
bombastic is the word I thought you might come. Bombastic.
Where is the Friday love, Kim?
Look, no one is tougher on themselves on this show than I am. I'm tougher on myself than anyone.
Well,
and I can't just go dinging symphonies or whatever the guy said.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
let's move on.
This is a man with anger. This is a man that has resentment towards you.
Oh my God!
Dude.
What an odd way to wrap up. Are you wrapping up?
I'm hardly wrapping up because you keep thwarting every attempt. You know, a good person.
You've only just begun.
A good person is a drama about guilt, redemption, and the perils of pill addiction that was written and directed by, get this, Zach Braff, the comedic actor who did the same writing and directing for the wispy rom-com Garden State that teamed him on screen with Natalie Portman. So Braff, he stays behind the camera for a good person, and the heavy lifting is left to ascendant British actress Florence Pugh and her unlikely co-star Morgan Freeman. And Pugh is one of my favorite actresses lately.
I'll take ascendant. Go ahead.
Her impressive career to date has had her doing a literary period piece as one of Louisa May Alcott's Little Women, sinister horror in the chilling Midsummer, Middle Eastern espionage in the miniseries Little Drummer Girl, comic book superheroics as Yelena Belova in Marvel's Black Widow and other MCU stuff, and so on and so on. In A Good Person, she's playing Allison, who is a kind of a blithe young American woman.
Blithe is a ding.
About to marry the love of her life when a tragic accident brings her world crashing down around her, crippled by pain and remorse and depression and zonked on painkillers. Hey, she must be one of the unwoke. Anyway, she finally tries to address her problems and finds herself in a confrontation with a guy named Daniel, who is a cantankerous older man.
Cantankerous is cleanly a ding word. Yes.
Victimized by the same tragedy that laid Allison low. So will she clean up her act and make peace with Daniel? Daniel was played by Freeman, and his rapport with Pugh and her fully committed performance and their antidotes to the cliched melodramatic aspects of Braff's script. You know, I'll watch Pugh in anything. She always manages to elevate any material she takes on, even last year's Less Than Successful, Don't Worry, Darling. And she does it again here, bringing blood, sweat, and tears to Allison's struggle. Pugh makes A Good Person, which might have otherwise been a mediocre movie, worth watching. The quick casting note, ex-SNL cast member Molly Shannon, whose specialty is her specialty has always seemed to be annoying extreme characters that get on my nerves. She's here. She plays Allison's mom, and guess what? She gets on my nerves. Anyway, A Good Person is in theaters now and worth a look for Pugh and Freeman when it comes to streaming, which it will shortly, I am certain.
Good. What else do you have?
The Lost King is a dramedy about the genuine 21st century search for the remains of King Richard III, and it stars Oscar nominee and Golden Globe winner Sally Hawkins, who was in The Shape of Water and Blue Jasmine, with the ever-appealing Hawkins well cast as the movie's heart and soul. This is a pleasantly quirky modern-day treasure hunt spiced with a little dash of magical realism. The script is by Hawkins' co-star in the movie, Steve Coogan, the guy who was in The Trip.
Is so talented.
And he was in, he's Alan Partridge in all the films and TV shows.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
He's very, very funny and very talented. This is based on the true story of a Scottish office worker determined to uncover the bona fide remains and the location of the remains of King Richard III and rehabilitate the villainous image he's always had because of Shakespeare.
Sure.
And it's directed by Stephen Frears. The Lost King seems like a trifle next to Frears' more impactful and acclaimed movies like, I don't know, Dangerous Liaisons and The Queen, but it's authentic, fascinating quest and this plucky against the odds and establishment heroine.
Plucky, I'll give.
They're engaging enough to make a recommendation here. Currently, it is coming into theaters. And I guess May 9th, it'll be streaming. It's called The Lost King.
Wow. So, they're looking for the remains, but they're not. It's not like Jurassic Park where they bring back King Richard because they find the remains, uses DNA, and they.
Well, she has visions after seeing a performance of King Richard where his spirit engenders her. She wants you going to find my remains. No, I don't.
There's never been anything
Richard
like
voice.
this.
It's pretty crazy. But quickly, I have a real blatant, unvarnished recommendation for you. It's called Tori and Lokita.
Okay.
It's a very sad and soulful human drama that was directed and co-written by the veteran Belgian filmmakers and brothers Luc and Jean-Pierre Dardenne. It follows a pair of African immigrant kids, a girl named Lokita and a boy named Tori, as they navigate life in Belgium. So, watching out for one another and desperate to survive in a foreign country, they pass themselves off as an older sister and younger brother, but they need money. And first and foremost, it's because Lokita wants to send cash back to her mother in Africa. But
my God, my heart's breaking already.
But the girl has another problem that is going to cost quite a few more euros. She requires the proper identification papers in order to safely live and work in Belgium. The duo's main source of income, this is This is a killer. It comes from dealing drugs for a nasty local restaurant owner.
Oh, my God.
And unfortunately, the price of the ID papers is so high that Lokita has to make a dangerous choice.
Oh, no.
What Torian Lokita says about the perils facing the oppressed and the dislocated, especially immigrant kids, on their own is shamefully relevant and should be heard. The story here is told in a very simple, straightforward fashion, and the result is the most heartbreaking movie by the Dardennes that I've seen, and I've seen a number of them that were also gritty and potent looks at the less fortunate in modern society. I wholeheartedly recommend it, even if it does get 2 tiers on the Snyder cryometer.
Wow.
By the way, Torian Lokita won the 75th anniversary prize at the 2022 Cannes Film Festival, and I guess it was well-deserved. It's in theaters, select theaters this weekend, New York, L.A., maybe San Francisco.
Tell me that she makes it back to her mom, please.
No
I just
spoilers.
can't take it.
No spoilers. Torian
I have
Lokita.
so much sadness, Michael. I can't take all the sadness.
No, I can't break your heart any further, so I'll hold off on any other films today.
I am delighted, though, to review John Wick Chapter 4, Michael Snyder. It's a symphony of violence and Wick. Wick doing everything right, and doing it fast and doing it violently. It's in theaters. A good person. The script, not that great, but the performances, excellent.
Absolutely.
And he feels as though the performances made up for the tepid nature of the script. Tepid is a ding word.
A few cliches at play there.
Yeah. That's one of the problems you felt with the script, that too many, maybe, kind of hack sort of dramatic.
Clean up your act, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
That's in theaters. The Lost King, the true story, dramedy, trying to find the remains of Richard III, the king. Sally Hawkins, brilliant.
As ever.
Steve Coogan, also brilliant as the writer and performer, I guess.
Yeah, he wrote this thing, and he plays her estranged husband who just has had enough of her digging up parking lots looking for the bones.
Estranged, I'll ding. Tori and Lokita, the sad, soulful story, directed by Luc and Jean-Pierre Dardin. Navigating life in Belgium, these kids who need money. They want to send the sister back to Africa to the mother. It captured my heart just hearing the summary.
Oh, man.
Lokita has to make a dangerous choice. I don't know why. But he loved it. He absolutely loved it.
I did, and so did the judges at Cannes. One quick note, Agent Elvis has started on Netflix. It's an animated thing featuring Elvis Presley in the early 70s, recruited against his will to a secret organization, an espionage ensemble. And, dude, it was co-created by Priscilla Presley. And it features her as Priscilla and as, this is the best, as Elvis, Matthew McConaughey. And one more thing, our friend Tom Kenny is the voice of Elvis's pet chimpanzee Scatter. And I'm telling you, it is hilarious and strange and features real Elvis Presley music because Priscilla probably controls the estate. And if you get a chance and you can get with it, Agent Elvis on Netflix.
Netflix, okay, good. You can read him in the Marina Times, see him kicking around the city, comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye, Michael.
Bye, y'all.